The new Kia EV4 gets your attention. Depending on who you are, you're either looking at it because it's bold and cool and revolutionary, or you're looking at it because you cannot quite wrap your head around the design. But either way, you're looking at it. And if you look a little deeper, you'll remember an important lesson. Beauty is skin deep, and it is fleeting.
This is the 2026 Kia EV4, Kia's first all-electric sedan. And every time I look at this car, I see a new element that puzzles and intrigues me more than the last. So today, let's take a look at all of it. The Kia EV4 has no deep history because this is the first one. The Kia EV4 concept debuted at the 2023 Los Angeles Auto Show, and most of the time an automaker will debut a concept and then they will significantly water down that concept and then that will become the production version of the car. But this EV4 actually looks a lot like that concept did from 2023, which means it is wild. This is a pattern we have seen a lot with Hyundai Motor Group, which is Kia's parent company, over the last 15 years. I think back to the Sonata from 2010 when it was on MotorTrend's cover in May 2010 because it was so unique looking and different to all the other sedans on the market at the time. And since then, we've gotten all kinds of wild designs like Elantras and Ioniq 6s, and that's not even to mention the concept cars that Hyundai Motor Group puts out, like the Envision 74 or the Pony. These cars look wild. And you know what? That wild styling is usually rewarded because people pay attention to it and then they see that the quality is good and then they buy the cars. The Kia EV4 is expected in America in early 2026, and there are no official prices yet. And right now, the configuration is a single-motor front-wheel drive model with 201 horsepower and 209 pound-feet of torque. There have been reports about an all-wheel drive model coming, but Kia told me today that that is not currently on the plate. We're sticking with the front-wheel drive. If customers do indicate that they want an all-wheel drive model, the platform could handle it, just not right now. There are currently two battery sizes on the Kia EV4, a 58.3 and an 81.4 kilowatt hour, and automaker-provided range estimations are between 235 miles and 330 miles, depending on the configuration you get. This is not the most range in the world, but range isn't the most important part. I actually find, even on road trips, it's charging speed, and Kia says that this has the charging capability to go from 10 to 80% in about 30 minutes. This also has an NACS charging port, which if you drive electric cars, you know that NACS is the Tesla standard, and it is nicely and widely available, and it's great. A big topic with the Kia EV4 is styling, and I want to start with the headlights. Headlights for modern automakers are a big deal. They are not only a personality feature, they are also a safety feature. And you find throughout an automaker's lineup, they will have matching headlights or headlights that communicate this or this. And this Kia EV4 shares a similar headlight styling with the Kia EV9, which is the big dog electric SUV. Not only do we have that, a signal that this is a Kia just by the headlights, but also headlights are a major safety feature. They adapt to conditions on the road. You can turn on your high beams and turn them off in automatic function. You don't even have to flick them on and off yourself. And headlights are such a big deal. Our partner, automotive supplier Magna, makes a lot of headlights, and the technology behind them are really cool.
Headlight technology has drastically evolved in my time driving cars, from those old yellow halogens to the bright adaptive LEDs we have today. When you think of adaptive headlights, you probably think of high beams that flash on and off as your car senses oncoming traffic in order to not produce glare in their direction. The main pitfall with this is that if your high beams turn off when you need them, you temporarily lose the extra light and sight lines they provide. Magna's Envision adaptive driving beam technology can turn off sections of light instead of the full beams when oncoming cars are detected, saving the oncoming car from glare while still giving the driver of the car with Magna's technology a clear picture of the road ahead.
Headlights are a really important part of modern automotive safety, and Magna's making them safer day by day. We absolutely love Magna. If you want to check out their technology and their channels, you can follow them on social media or go to magna.com. The design of this Kia EV6, I feel like photographs differently than it looks when you look at it. When you see photographs of it, photographs are flat. And when there are a lot of angles on something, you can just go, what's going on? There's a lot happening in this photo. But when you see this car in person and you're able to walk around it and it's 3D, it actually looks a lot cooler. Now, up front, I think the up front styling is actually pretty conservative, normal Kia. You know, you see this on the EV9 and stuff like that. Where it gets interesting and a little weird is the back. The back end is long tail. And Kia says this is for aerodynamics. This is a 0.023 drag coefficient. So the idea with this long tail is that you have better aerodynamics because the air is just gliding over it. Therefore, you're gonna get longer range. Now, some things I don't love about the side profile of this car, mainly these black wheel arches, and I understand why they exist. Automakers do black wheel arches and black lines down here to make the body of the car look smaller and therefore sportier and sleeker. But I don't love it on any car because paneling right here makes me think of plastic cladding, which is usually not glossy and coated like this, and over the years will fade and not look so great. There are a couple of specific features I want to talk about on this Kia EV4, including this split spoiler and these taillights. Let's start with this split spoiler. Typically on a car, you get a spoiler that goes all the way across, right? Instead, on this car, we get one on each side. And there's no air channel right here. There are no vents, right? I put my hand here, this is solid. And I'm sure this split spoiler has some kind of great aerodynamic benefit. We just didn't have time to get into that today, and I am surprisingly not an aerodynamicist. I know, shocker. Our taillights back here are actually really cool because when I look at them just on memory, they're kind of Cadillac-y, but they're also low set, almost like a Rolls Royce. So we have this big panel in the back that's pretty plain. There's not a lot on it. And then you have these low sitting taillights. I don't know, when you look at them, they do look kind of fancy. Another thing to note is that this Kia EV4 is a front wheel drive EV. When you have a rear wheel drive EV, sometimes you get a really big, nice frunk, right? Because you don't have a bunch of stuff up here. But in our front wheel drive EV, what do we get? Nothing, no frunk. I also want to quickly run through the interior of this Kia EV4. And the thing I like about the overall design of this interior is that it mimics other Kia models, but it looks slightly nicer than things it's probably going to be positioned above, pricing wise. So we just got out of the Kia K4 hatchback, and it had this nice white and black interior, and it looked similar to this overall in the vibe. But then you get in the Kia EV4 and it has little extra bits that aren't in the K4 hatchback because this is probably going to be priced a little bit higher than the K4 hatchback. So we have these nice little patterns on the seat. It's like this triangular pattern that goes up and down, and it looks cool, it looks elegant, it looks different than other cars, and I like it a lot. Then we also have black and white throughout this interior. And the thing that I like about the black and white and also the accent lighting is that it distracts you from the couple of bits of material that aren't the best. So most of this material feels really nice. It has good patterns, right? And then you'll have these hard plasticky bits. But I'm distracted from these hard plasticky bits because the rest of the interior looks really nice. A couple of other things to mention in this interior is we have one long screen for the driver instrument cluster and the infotainment screen. But behind this one long screen, you have 3 insets, and I'm really interested to see how these age. This Kia EV4 has wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. Yes, we love a simple integration on the screen. I love CarPlay. We have a non-panoramic roof up here, which makes me sad because I think this car would look great with a panoramic glass roof. And a good thing, we have physical controls for some of our stuff like temperature. I love a physical temperature control. I don't want to use the infotainment screen for that. We have now made it to a very informative part of this Kia EV4 video, which is how many Elantrises can fit in this EV4's trunk. And I say this is very informative because of the fact that I bet you thought this EV4 had a hatchback, right? No, it has a very narrow trunk opening, and I actually don't know how I'm gonna get in here. So while I navigate that, I'm gonna tell you that this key, I actually kind of like it. It's white and it has the texture of concrete, and I think that's just so stylish, and that's better than plastic. Oh my gosh. I'm in, but I don't think I can close it. This is pretty deep. I'm gonna say 1 3/4 Atlantises, but I'm not closing it because that would stress me out. The Kia EV4 has had wild and a little bit controversial styling from the get-go, but I actually think that Hyundai Motor Group's strength is the wild styling because it gets people to look and it gets people to realize that these cars are good quality and affordable for what they are. And I'm so excited to see what wild styling on an EV sedan can do.